Welcome, crypto family, to News Global. Welcome, crypto fam, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, we're going to talk about Van Eck CEO recommends investors to double down on Bitcoin as a hedge in 2025. We're also going to talk about Bitcoin to battle dollar strength amid Donald Trump's crypto-friendly policies. We're also going to talk about Bitcoin poised for 150K. Research signals massive growth. Also, MicroStrategy eyes more Bitcoin with potential $2 billion preferred stock offering. And our feature story of the day is Bitcoin hashrate taps all-time high. Let's go. Welcome everybody. Today is January 3rd, 2025. Thanks for everybody joining the stream. And we've got a great show for you today. And let's get right into the technical analysis. Let me share my screen with you guys. And here we see Coin 360. Coin 360. With Bitcoin, they've got their new view there. Bitcoin up, pumping today, another 1.5%, approximately, still at around just under 98,000. Ethereum up 4%, 95.86. XRP up a bit. BNB coin, Doge up 12%, doing pretty well. Link, Sheeb up 7%. Let's flip over to Crypto Bubbles and see what we've got for today. So it looks like ENA, haven't heard of that one, up 15%. Doge up 13%. Sui Coin up 12.5%. EOS, Sand, Bonk, all up. Mostly all in the green today. Let's zoom out to the weekly. We still have the AI meme coin, AI 16Z, top gainer. Fart coin pulling back, is still up 61% for the week. And for the month, looking a little smelly with Fart coin up 806, and we still have the AI coin pretty strong for the month. And let's take a look at the crypto fear and greed index. Today we are in greed at 73. Yesterday was a 74. Last week a 72. The higher this index goes, the more likely we are of getting a pullback. And the lower it goes into fear, the higher we should technically pump. Let's check out the Bitcoin halving countdown. We are 1,134 days away from the next halving. There's 1,194,000 approximately still Bitcoins left to mine. And Bitcoin price 98, market capitalization, etc. This is the average. So if we take this, this is the current. At this pace, the next Bitcoin halving will take place 2028, February 12th. And then this is more of a average. So it's talking about April 14th. Let's move on. And right now, as of right now, you can get 1,012 Satoshis for $1. Okay, and let's get into our stories of the day. Our first story of the day is Van Eck CEO recommends investors to double down on Bitcoin as a hedge in 2025. I am behind him 100%. Van Eck CEO has recommended that investors maintain an increase their exposure to Bitcoin and gold in 2025 in the firm's 2025 Outlook report. He argued that these assets are indispensable hedges against inflationary pressures, fiscal uncertainty, and global de-dollarization trends. According to Van Eck, gold and Bitcoin have proven to be resilient stores of value amidst global economic turbulence. He added, bull markets in gold and Bitcoin are supported by inflationary pressure, fiscal uncertainty, and de-dollarization trends. Consequently, he emphasized that these assets are essentially for any portfolio seeking to guard against inflation. And we see inflation has been running rampant, and it's something that the new U.S. administration, and in fact, administrations all over the world, have been trying to fight against and running a fair amount of their platforms, re-election or newly elected government platforms on this anti-inflation or to reduce inflation. We see Bukele, we see the Argentinian president ran quite a bit on this platform and has done very well in his first year, and people love him. He's apparently the second most popular president in the world behind Miguel Bukele of El Salvador right now. Robust foreign central bank purchases and a growing shift away from reliance on the U.S. dollar in a global trade drive gold's current bull market. This de-dollarization trend has amplified the demand for gold as a stable and reliable asset. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has recently surged past the $100,000 mark. It's pulled back a bit, but it's still at 98, continuing its bull cycle. Following the halving event in the second quarter of 2024, Van Eck predicts Bitcoin could reach 150 to 170,000 during this cycle, driven by its increasing adoption as a store value asset. Additionally, based on historical patterns from prior halving events, Bitcoin is in the midst of a 3-year bull market, which positions it as a pivotal asset for long-term wealth preservation. While Van Eck acknowledges the potential volatility, particularly in gold, he remains optimistic about the long-term prospects for both assets. As a result, even amid price corrections, the fundamentals of BTC and gold will remain strong. I agree 100% with that. Analysts align. Notably, Van Eck's vision aligns with other analysts. In October, Jeffrey Kendrick, global head of digital assets and research at Standard Chartered, highlighted that BTC is a hedge for systemic financial risks, although not a solid alternative for geopolitical tensions. In a 9-page letter published in September, BlackRock told its investors that Bitcoin is resilient to black swan macro events such as banking system crises, sovereign debt crises, currency debasement, and geopolitical disruption. I agree 100% with BlackRock, which is a little surprising. They're the big guys, the big players, 14 trillion in assets, so it's hard to agree with them for many things. But, follow the money, follow the big money. The document also highlights that Bitcoin could be used to hedge against possible U.S. dollar instability stemming from federal debt and crisis fears, which would further improve the attractiveness of alternative assets. 100%. And if we actually go into... We'll go into it a bit. We're going to go into U.S. We can go in right now, U.S. debt clock, and we can do our daily watch of the U.S. national debt. And here we are, currently at 36,306 billion, 1 million and so. And since yesterday's program, this has gone up 100 million. So it's pretty much going up 100 million a day. And here we see debt per citizen. So that's for every citizen, young or old, unemployed, employed, child, elderly. 106, almost 107,000 US dollars per citizen is reflected in the debt, and per taxpayer, $323,000 per taxpayer. So everyone walking around right now, working hard, probably have no idea that if the U.S. had to pay off the debt, they would be on the hook for $323,000 per taxpayer. I guarantee nobody has any idea about that right now. Let's move on to our next story of the day. Bitcoin to battle dollar strength amid Donald Trump's crypto-friendly policies. I like the sounds of this. Bitcoin resilience would be tested by dollar peak and shifting political landscape. The U.S. dollar has surged to its strongest level in years, fueled by optimism surrounding Donald Trump's return to presidency. Over the past year, the dollar has gained ground amongst major global currencies thanks to a rally fueled by the Federal Reserve rate cuts and the economic challenges of other countries such as Japan. And 100% the U.S. dollar has gotten very strong since Trump was elected the next president, and additionally since he announced tariffs on many countries around the world, all the other, Canada, Mexico. Both of those currencies have pretty much tanked, gone way down compared to the U.S. dollar, and I believe the rest of the world also is decreasing against the U.S. dollar. So it's really peaked. Historically, such dollar dominance poses challenges for risk assets like Bitcoin, but the narrative is different this time. The president's vocal support for the top crypto has created an unusual dynamic that has sparked a sharp rise in Bitcoin's value since his re-election. For sure. Bitcoin analyst Joe Consorti stated that the flagship digital asset is navigating its longest stretch of dollar strength over 2 years. And here we have in the chart, shown in the chart here. According to him, historical trends suggest caution as Bitcoin value dropped by 25% during the last comparable dollar rally. So far, it has corrected 15% with potential for further declines as dollar momentum continues. However, optimism persists among the industry leaders. Crypto Quant CEO Ki Young-ju pointed out that the Trump administration could usher in a pro-crypto era that would reduce regulatory risk and increase institutional interest, which might drive greater adoption of Bitcoin, stablecoins, and other digital assets. So BTC price trends following a Trump election. Here we are in 2016 and 2024. So they are showing here in this chart. The purple is kind of just getting started here, and the 26 election shows what happened to the Bitcoin price in his other elections. So he was elected 2016, and Bitcoin price was at it looks like around $100 US, and by the 350 days into his term, so a year into the term, the Bitcoin price looks like well over 1,000, maybe around 1,100. So great comparison they're making there. I think Trump is going to be definitely a good thing for crypto. The existing SEC chairman Gary Gensler is going to be out. We're going to see a new administration coming in to oversee the both stocks and crypto, and specifically there's going to be a crypto czar looking over crypto. So good things are happening. Trump stated he's going to create a Bitcoin Treasury reserve to help pay off that $36 trillion debt over many years, and he's going to buy up to 1 million Bitcoin a year, and they're just going to hold it. So I think good things are coming in just a very short time. It is January 3rd, and Donald Trump takes office as of January 20th. All right, let's move on to our next story of the day. Bitcoin posed for 150K. Research signals massive growth. Steno Research predicts a fantastic year for cryptocurrencies in 25, with Bitcoin seen to reach 150 and Ethereum potentially hitting an 8,000 value. Why so bullish, or why so bearish, I should say? This projection isn't just speculative. Steno's analysis cites a number of positive economic variables: rising institutional interest and the growing presence of cryptocurrencies ETFs. However, the question remains, can these digital assets genuinely reach such amazing milestones? The crypto ETF boom, a game changer? Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds are likely to play a significant role. Bitcoin, in particular, is expected to profit from nearly $50 billion in net inflows as institutional investors become more interested in these products. Makes sense. Ethereum is still a big player, but it's expected to get $28 billion thanks to similar trends in usage. These funds could bring a lot of cash into cryptocurrency market, which would cause prices to rise even more. Similar to 2024, we expect the U.S. crypto ETFs to take center stage once again in 2025, partly due to the direct buying pressure they generate, and partly because they serve as a proxy for non-native crypto retail and institutional interest in an asset class. What that's saying is businesses and governments can't hold Bitcoin directly. They're not considered an asset class. But when put into an ETF can be purchased as a more traditional asset, and it can be put in a regular stock portfolio. So companies on a whole can purchase the ETF and hold it just the same way you can hold it in your regular stock account. So this ETF has really allowed corporations to get on board with crypto as per the company regulations. And, you know, we've got governments starting to get on board with it. We've got retirement funds getting on board with it. There's many avenues of finance that would not allow direct crypto ownership, but do allow the ETFs. So this is why they're saying that it's going to play a big role, as it already has. Between the ETFs that were allowed, that started in almost a year now, January 10th last year, 2024, they have purchased over, cumulatively, between the, I think it's 13 ETFs, over 1 million Bitcoin between them. And BlackRock, I believe, is over 500,000 itself. Fidelity is around 200,000 Bitcoins. So let's continue with the story. Regulations and macroeconomics, the perfect storm. Supportive rules are another important factor that Steno Research hopefully prognoses as governments throughout the world shift their sentiment on digital assets. Cryptocurrencies prospects improve. Bitcoin's solid price performance in particular appears to be linked to the rising acceptance of cryptocurrency as a viable asset class. This, paired with good macroeconomic conditions, prepares Bitcoin and Ethereum for tremendous growth over the next coming months. Bitcoin and long-term strategy. The research believes 2025 macroeconomic conditions will support the growth of cryptocurrencies. The popularity of the cryptocurrencies as an inflation hedge and store of wealth boosts investor confidence. And these are predicted net flows in 2025. Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm surprised Ethereum actually is so high, but it looks like toward the end of the year, quite a few, they're predicting a lot of Ethereum ETF purchasing. Interesting. This implies that mainstream investors are more likely to use Bitcoin for long-term portfolio diversification, while Ethereum's potential for decentralized finance and smart contracts makes it an attractive alternative. Some analysts believe that Bitcoin price will rise as consumer and institutional demand grows. Ethereum adoption in DeFi and net markets suggests a price hike. Is 2025 the year of cryptocurrency? 2025 forecast from Steno Research is optimistic, but it is not risk-free. These projections could be affected by changes in regulations, market volatility, and general economic conditions. However, there's no doubt that Bitcoin and Ethereum have a great chance of rising to new heights, especially if present trends continue. Agreed, 100%. According to the market forecast, cryptocurrency markets will soon shift toward more widespread mainstream use. Yep. With new financial products and ETFs, making it easier for institutional investors to get involved. Agreed again, because XRP is supposed to get a ETF coming up this year as well. As we begin, Solana as well is supposed to get a ETF. As we begin the new year, questions remain. Are we actually on the verge of the best year ever for cryptocurrency? Or is it another speculative bubble about to burst? And you guys hear my two dogs in the background there. That's Leo and Toffee. They bark when anyone comes near the house. Let's move on to our next story, and this is a big one. MicroStrategy eyes more Bitcoin with potential $2 billion preferred stock offering. MicroStrategy may decide to move forward with the perpetual preferred stock offering if market conditions aren't favorable this quarter. MicroStrategy, as we know, CEO Michael Saylor has put this company in position. He's really grown the company. They currently have 400 and believe it's close to 450,000 Bitcoin, worth over $43 billion. It started off as just a software development company, and he really turned it into a Bitcoin purchasing company. He'll take bonds and he'll basically buy more Bitcoin. He'll borrow money at a very low rate, apparently 0%, and he'll buy more Bitcoin. So let's get into the story. MicroStrategy, the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, is eyeing a $2 billion raise from a perpetual preferred stock offering to buy more Bitcoin in a move that would expand the company's 21/21 plan. The perpetual preferred stock may be obtained through converting MicroStrategy's Class A common stock, paying a cash dividend, redeeming shares, or combination of these, the Bitcoin stacking business intelligence firm explained in January 3rd statement. MicroStrategy targets up to $2 billion capital raised through public offerings of perpetual preferred stock in the first quarter of their stock. And here's their stock symbol, $MSTR. The offering is separate from MicroStrategy's ongoing plan to raise $21 billion in equity and $21 billion in fixed income instruments. Strategy it has largely implemented in recent months to fuel its Bitcoin buying spree through senior convertible notes and debt. The perpetual preferred stock offering, which MicroStrategy intends to use to strengthen its balance sheet and buy more Bitcoin, is expected to occur sometime this quarter. However, the decision whether to proceed and consummate the offering is a MicroStrategy's sole discretion and is subject to market and other conditions, MicroStrategy explained. MicroStrategy may choose not to proceed or consummate the offering at all. The perpetual stock offering is also senior to MicroStrategy's Class A common stock in the sense that holders have priority in the event of bankruptcy or litigation. So here we go. MicroStrategy owns 446,000 Bitcoins, valued at just under 44 billion. And it looks like what they're planning to do is split their stock, change the Class A stock to common stock, pay a dividend to the Class A shareholders in return, and create 2 billion new Class B stocks, common stocks. So MicroStrategy purchased 257,000 Bitcoin alone in 2024, the company's largest Bitcoin buying year since inception. The 446 Bitcoins have been purchased at a dollar cost average of 62,000, meaning Microsoft is up 57% on its Bitcoin investment. So yeah, as of right now, we're at 98,000 and their average cost is 62. Firm's Bitcoin investment strategy was orchestrated by Executive Chairman Michael Saylor, who has played a key role in paving the way for corporate Bitcoin adoption around the world. Yes, he has. A lot of companies are following his lead. Saylor's Bitcoin strategy has also benefited MicroStrategy shares, massively, which increased 13% on January 3rd, up to 339, up 438 from this time last year. MicroStrategy has marginally fallen 0.19 wow, since their perpetual preferred stock offering plan was announced in after hours. So the stock is way up for the year, and MicroStrategy's outperformed, I believe, every company on the S&P this year. So good on him. He's really brought adoption by organizations to Bitcoin, and a lot of companies are starting to follow his lead because they see that it's a valuable store of money, and that if they keep their money in the US dollar, it's technically, or any fiat currency, they're technically losing money because the money printer continues to print, and the more the money printer prints, the less our money's actually worth. So Bitcoin is a good store of value. And let's move into our feature story of today. Bitcoin hash rate taps all-time high. And why I like this story is because Max Kaiser always says Bitcoin price always follows the hash rate. So if the hash rate taps an all-time high, then I wouldn't be surprised if the actual Bitcoin soon follows with another all-time high. On January 3rd, the network's hash rate briefly tapped 1,000 exahash per second as miners continued adding capacity. Bitcoin's hash rate, the total computer power securing the network, reached an all-time new high of over 1,000 exahashes per second on January 3rd, according to data from CoinWars. This is nearly double the network's hash rate 12 months ago, and where the hash rate hovered around 510 exahash in January 2024, a year ago. At the time of this article's publication, Bitcoin's hash rate had retracted to approximately 780 exahash per second. The network's rising hash rate indicates Bitcoin miners are devoting more computational resources to blockchain, thus improving the network's security. Miners are continuing to expand production even after Bitcoin's April halving reduced mining rewards from 6.25 to 6.125 per block. And if we go back to the actual specifics, I believe, have some information here about the halving, nonetheless, basically every time there is a halving, which is every 4 years, it really is going by block, then the amount that the Bitcoin miners make is cut in half. So this time in 2024, April 20th, the Bitcoin rewards were cut from 6.25 BTC per block to 3.125 per block. Overwhelming headwinds. In 2024, Bitcoin's strong performance particularly offset headwinds from the halving, especially for cash-heavy mining companies like Riot Platform and CleanSpark. Mining firms acquired other miners with turnkey facilities to increase near-term hash rate and increase their power pipeline, JP Morgan said in a December 10th research note shared with Cointelegraph. Miners have also prioritized accumulating BTC on balance sheets. In December, JP Morgan raised price targets for 4 Bitcoin mining stocks to reflect value from the miners' electrical power assets and BTC holdings, Morgan said. So Morgan, to me, this company are one of the things that are wrong with society. So on one hand, Chase Bank in Britain earlier this year restricted its whoever's got an account with them would not allow them to buy Bitcoin. And meanwhile, on the back end, these guys keep putting their money into Bitcoin. So, there's an old saying, do as they do, not as they say. So on one end, Chase is saying, no, don't buy Bitcoin, but then themselves are buying probably tons of Bitcoin. So a lot of these companies, including BlackRock, they want to keep the prices of Bitcoin low so they can buy more. States also are in the same situation. If U.S. says today, hey, we're going to announce we're buying Bitcoin, the price is going to skyrocket. And so I wouldn't be surprised even if the U.S. buys Bitcoin on the low and maybe doesn't even announce that they're doing it, and then at some point says, hi, okay, we have 1 million Bitcoins accumulated. So let's continue. Morgan cited that the stock performance of MicroStrategy, a software company turned de facto Bitcoin fund, which traded at roughly 2.4 times multiple to the value of its BTC treasury as of December 10th. Bitcoin miners, Marathon, Riot, these are the biggest mining companies in the world, by the way, and CleanSpark hold BTC treasuries worth approximately 4.4 billion, 1.7 bill, and 910 million, respectively, according to the Bitcoin Treasury.net data service. Institutional inflows, Bitcoin's rising hash rate, and the resilient improvements in network security is especially important as an institutional investor pour capital into BTC exchange-traded funds and other regulated cryptocurrency investments. In November, Bitcoin ETFs broke $100 billion in net assets for the first time, according to data from Bloomberg Intelligence. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole article, but the gist of it is if the price follows the hash rate, and the hash rate just tapped for the first time 1,000 exahash per second and is now sitting at around 750 exahashes per second. So it's way up, and that is very bullish for Bitcoin. And I would expect that this trend continues, that the hash rate continues to rise, the network gets stronger, and the price will continue to follow the hash rate. Hopefully you guys gained some value from today's show. I want everybody to remember that the money is abundant and money is everywhere. Time is what's scarce, people. So use your time wisely. Spend less than what you earn. If you start making more money, save more money. Don't spend more money. And start saving today. The younger you start saving, the better off you are. If you start saving in your 20s, you might be able to retire at 40. If you have great ideas, which everybody does, don't be afraid when people tell you don't do it, you're a fool. Don't listen to them. Do what you love. Take your idea. Start today, even if you're not ready. And if you found this stream useful, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next stream. Thanks for joining us on Crypto News Global, and we will see you tomorrow.